Okay, we're back online here with the final finished product. We have finished building out this Aero Precision AR clone. Everybody wants to call them AR-15s. It's actually an AR-15 clone. There is no real AR-15 unless you have a Colt. And that is because Colt purchased the rights from Armalite, which is where the term AR came from. So anybody out there that's not familiar with the terminology with ARs and they think AR means assault rifle, go back to school and get you an education. So anyhow, this is the finished product, and I'll get off my soapbox on that regard now. And this is a modern sporting rifle. Okay, so this is what I have. You've seen in the previous video, I showed what I was doing with it, the parts, and talked about the parts that were going in place. I also, obviously you saw some photos of the general progress. This is the finished product with the final scope and muzzle brake on there. So you can see it up close and see what we got here. Basically, we've got a Vortex HST 4-16 by 44. It's an outstanding rifle scope. It's one of my favorites. I love first focal planes, but as far as the second focal plane, this one is really hard to beat. It's exceptionally clear, and you get a lot for your money. So anyhow, but going from back to front, see the finished product. Got a Magpul stock on there. Of course, we got the XTS, inexpensive XTS buffer. Of course, all of the blue, anodized blue parts are also XTS parts until we get to the fore-end. The fore-end is an Odinworks, and it is a 15-inch fore-end aluminum, and it goes on all right. It's pretty solid. It's solid mounted. It came with the barrel nut, so it mounts on this frame pretty solid, and it looks pretty damn decent on there. But I prefer something that would lock up a little bit better. But anyhow, all that said, you can see how it looks. We've got the Faxon gas block in there, gas tube installed. The nickel boron bolt just looks amazing on this rifle. And then of course you go up to the front here and you see the actual muzzle brake. And what I put on there was I don't know if you can see that claw there. I don't know if I can get it to focus in on that. There it is. And this is a Kelbley claw muzzle brake. It is a self-timing muzzle brake. It goes in place extremely easy. You can get these brakes for different calibers. This one, of course, is for a 223 and 5.56 combo, and with the 1/2 x 28 threads. But this rifle looks really good, and we're gonna add to this video segment after we get to the range. I'm gonna try and put all this together at one time so we can see how this baby cycles as well, and give you my actual review after we get it out to the range and run it. This is actually a firearm that built up for my boy, and I think he's gonna really love it. But the big portion of this thing is the innards, which is gonna be your Aero Precision lower, a matching Aero Precision upper, the Aero Precision nickel boron bolt carrier group, and then of course the Faxon firearms flame fusion, what would they call it? Flame fusion fluted match series 18-inch barrel, and then your Kelbley's muzzle brake. All the other furniture, of course, is nothing special, but that's not what I'm concerned about. I like the functionality of it all, but I'm concerned about the innards. The trigger itself, which is the Saber EVO, it's an inexpensive trigger. It pulls at about 3.8 pounds. It's got a little bit of pre-travel, a little bit of over-travel, but I'm not expecting much more than that for $100. So if we decide to go with something a little better in the future, we will. But I mean, that is a decent trigger for the money, and it feels pretty good on this firearm. So there you go, folks. Pretty excited about it. Pretty excited about having it done. I've already actually taken care of the checking the go no go on it with the gauges, and everything is set up perfectly. The headspace is great. The go gauge works wonderfully. It locks up nice, and the no-go gauge keeps it from locking up. Incidentally, you can actually perform the head spacing without the barrel installed and with the barrel installed. Just depends on which way you want to do it. It's easier to do it without the barrel installed, but if the barrel is already installed on the upper, it can certainly be done that way too. If you guys are interested in seeing how to do that, I can show you at some point, but there are videos on YouTube already on the process, but I can certainly show you that at some point. Anyhow, folks, we'll get back to you with the actual range review coming up shortly. Thanks for joining us. So let's talk about ammo right quick. So we took this newly built AR-15 clone to the range, as you've seen, and this is part of the range review. And essentially, I'm not going to waste too much time on the Hornady Whitetail. That ammo, it's a 60 grain, as you can see. You've got the 75 grain Hornady Black. You've got Sierra Match King 69 grain and Sierra Match King 77 grain. The Flame Fusion barrel, 18-inch Flame Fusion barrel, did not like the Hornady Whitetail, so we utilized that to break it in. But we were only shooting at 25 yards today, folks. Just so you know, I couldn't get on the longer range today. It was too crowded. But so we shot at 25, plus we were trying to break it in. So bear in mind that these are only 25-yard shots, extremely short. So, you know, once we get out to 50 yards and 100 yards, we'll really see what it does. But it still can give us some characteristics of what it likes and doesn't like. And the Hornady Black, you know, was all right. It really preferred the 69 grain and 77 grain Match King. 77 grain especially, and I'll show you a target here. Take a look at this, and you can see what we shot with both of those rounds. I'm not showing any targets for the others. The others just were not consistent and not worth showing. These were actually worth showing, and I think that these are going to progressively get better as the barrel gets shot and gets more rounds down the pipe. Today we only put, I'd have to go back and count what's there, but we only put about 40 rounds through it. But it is broken in now, so now it's you know, getting it all cleaned up nicely, and you know, getting it fouled again, and just shooting from there and stretching it out to see what it does. But take a look at this target. Let me know what you think. All right, we're here at the range with my boy, breaking the gun in, and like I told you guys, we'd be out here shooting it, and so far we put a few rounds through it, and it has been pretty pleasing to the standpoint. At this point, we're done breaking it in, I think, at this point, and now we are just shooting it to see how it runs. Okay, so you can see that it loves the 77 grain Sierra Match King. It really likes the 69 grain. Also, I will say that probably would have shot those better, but with all the rounds today, we seem to have a little bit of trouble with some light primer strikes every so often. The rifle did not disappoint. I believe it is one of two things. I believe that it is either the trigger having too light of a spring. It's that Saber Evo, JMT Saber Evo. I believe that, you know, be the trigger pack, either it's got too light of a spring, or possibly because we're in the break-in phase and the tolerances are pretty tight. I head spaced everything and everything works good, but the tolerances are pretty tight. And so it could possibly be the bolt maybe short stroking. I don't think it's short stroking. I just mean not going fully in the battery, and that could be caused by a couple of things. That could be caused by it just being too tight and having to work itself in and learning to play nice together, the metal parts. And that could be from an over gas problem if it's bouncing the bolt. So I'm going to continue to work on that. I will tell you that the rifle did not disappoint. Extremely happy with its accuracy, and going to go from there. So, just wanted to give you guys a follow-up on everything and what you saw with the entire start from the build to the video at the range that with my son shooting it to the results of the targets. Again, only 25 yards. I'm sorry I couldn't get longer shots out there. Just was no availability, and we'll get that next time, but probably won't have any more videos of that. But anyhow, all right, folks, we'll get back to you. Got another build coming, and I'm going to show you that as I get the parts. But that's going to finalize this one, and I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless Texas. God bless America. Have a great rest of your weekend. Cannonball Cats, Hunting on a Budget, Texas, signing off. Bye-bye.